Stephen A. Smith on Willard and Dibs, 95.7 The Game, and we're going to let the audience hear a little bit of like where this conversation has been. But first and foremost, good afternoon, my friend. Thanks for coming on.
Good afternoon, fellas. Thanks y'all for having me. What's going on?
Yeah, absolutely. Really appreciate it. We want to start off by letting the audience hear kind of where this all came from. And obviously it's a conversation that's not brand new, but Draymond Green on the big podcast with Shaq was talking about the time of his suspension and some certain things that had him feeling some type of way at that time. And your name came up. Here it is.
Stephen A. Smith really pissed me off. And the reason he pissed me off was because he hit me. He's like, yo, it's been hard for a lot of us to talk about you these last few days. You know, for me, I'm like, okay, it's been hard for me to watch. But I'm watching it because I want to see everything that everybody has to say. But the thing that pissed me off is you tell me it's been hard for y'all to talk about me. Stephen A., anytime I meet someone and they say something about you, it's never like, yo, I like him. He cool. It's always like, man, that dude, he a character, he's this, he's that. And I always say back, I actually know the guy. The guy is actually a cool dude. You can take what you want from the TV screen. I actually know the guy. He's a cool dude and a real dude. And then you get the opportunity to talk about me. And listen, I know you got a job to do. I know you got to do your thing and say what you got to say. But at not one point did you say, well, y'all are saying this person is up and this person need help. Now, I know the person. Say what you want about the basketball player, that's fine. But I know the person. But to sit back and see those that claim to know and appreciate me as a human being just flow with the narrative because it was easy to do, I lost a lot of respect for a lot of people.
Okay. Stephen A., why don't you share with our audience what your response is to that?
Well, first things first is that it's utter bullshit. Let's get that out the way right now. I don't appreciate the position that Draymond took. I was not aware that Draymond felt that way. I had no idea because I haven't spoken to him directly in months. And I found out about it literally when I woke up this morning. And my producers of First Take sent me the clip, and I saw it for the first time. I got a lot of love for Draymond Green, got a lot of respect for Draymond Green. Anybody in the business that knows me, anybody outside of the business that wants to know about the business knows how I feel about him, not just as a professional, not just as a winner, but as a man. And for me to have the relationship that I have with him, to hear about this because you on Shaq's podcast, he pissed me off. So now both of us are pissed. Because to be quite honest with you, I don't think what he's saying has a shred of merit whatsoever. And that's the first time that I've ever found myself in a position where I could listen to Draymond Green and don't feel he has a shred of merit to what the hell he's saying. Now let's harken back, because this is the flagship station for the Golden State Warriors, right?
Yeah, that is correct.
You guys cover the Warriors. You guys cover the Warriors, do you not?
That's correct.
So you are fully aware that he has been ejected 20 times. That nobody in history has been ejected more outside of Rasheed Wallace than Draymond Green. You are aware that over a 9-month span, he was suspended 4 times. Okay? What happened is that when he slapped Nurkic, Kevin Durant and Nurkic came out and spoke against him, and Kevin Durant was quoted as saying, I hope he gets the help he needs. If you go to the very next episode of First Take, I was saying, I don't like that. When you say something like that, it connotates that this man's got a serious problem, especially as a black man. I'm uncomfortable with somebody just throwing that out there like that. And for it to be Nurkic is one thing because he's the one that got hit. For it to be Kevin Durant, a former teammate who won 3 titles with the man, who won 2 titles with the man, rather, who went to 3 NBA finals with the man, I thought was pretty low. That was me on the record stating that. The problem is that something else happened, which is the Rudy Gobert thing. And so at that particular moment in time, you go into the league office, you're talking to Adam Silver and Joe Dumars and other league officials, and you're acknowledging to them you got issues that you need to resolve. So I go on the air knowing this, and other people are saying that about you after me coming to your defense time and time and time again. When you got ejected, when you got kicked out of the finals because you kicked LeBron James, even though I thought LeBron James was given a stimulus package by the league office because they knew y'all were about to lose in 5 to y'all, okay? Because Draymond Green had kicked Steven Adams before and all of this other stuff. I defended him then. He knocked out Jordan Poole. I knew the personal stuff that was going on with Draymond Green, and that Jordan Poole exacerbated the situation and messed with that man when that man didn't need to be messed with, because you got other stuff that's going on that's none of our business. All of this stuff has been articulated by me live on national television in the face of one piece of opposition after another who has spoken against Draymond Green for years. And somehow you're upset with a bunch of people, but I'm the name that comes out of your mouth when you on Shaq's podcast. That's highly offensive to me for several reasons. Number one, it ain't true. Number two, and most importantly, we know each other. Where's the call? Where's the conversation? I certainly wouldn't say anything to Draymond Green on a personal level like that without telling him how I feel first. He wouldn't find out about it once I got on the air. Thirdly, again, what level of responsibility and culpability do you harness? Do you own? I have a job to do that is absolutely true. And if I did what Draymond Green said I did, I wouldn't apologize for it because I'm doing my job. And in the face of the evidence that had mounted against him, I'm in no position to really defend him. But I didn't do what he said. I didn't just sit there. Now, if you want to take one particular show, what about all the other shows that I did? What about all the other times that I came to your defense? And so these are the kind of things that upset me. And what you both will relate to just crystallize this for you. If you remember, this conversation right here, right now, is about my character. It's about who I am, Stephen A. Smith is as a man. If you remember, I went ballistic on Steve Kerr months ago, if you recall that. Indeed. When he goes into a press conference and he's talking about he saw somebody, everybody knew he was talking about me because they were talking about it on First Take. We were questioning Steph Curry's leadership, and it made him sick. Shut the hell up. That's a lie. That's not what happened. What we were saying was Steph Curry is the quintessential dude. He's a role model extraordinaire. He's an extraordinary basketball player and a future Hall of Famer and one of the greatest role models you could ever hope to have. But in light of what's transpiring with the team, a different form of leadership might be required because of the troubles that they were dealing with, which at the time involved Draymond Green and a couple of other things. He twisted that. And the reason why I had a problem with Steve Kerr twisting that was because you were twisting it in a way to convince an audience that we were saying something about the great Steph Curry that we were not saying. If you're going to have a problem with us, could you at least have the decency to contextualize properly and hold us accountable for what we've actually done or are doing instead of making something up just to garner favor with a cadre of individuals that you think is going to point the finger at us in a negative direction? Those are the kind of things that I think are weak as hell. And that is my problem. And it's back to Draymond Green. At the end of the day, got love for him. I respect the hell out of him. He's a great dude. He's going to be a star in this business. I love him, but I don't appreciate what he did. I don't like it. It's a misrepresentation of who I am, of what I did on the air, and it negates and ignores all the years I have supported that man. That is what I wanted to say.
Stephen A. Smith with us here on 95.7 The Game. And Stephen A., we know you got NBA Live coming up, so want to get a couple more. And sure. The question after that is, where does this go next? The viability of all of it in this veteran era for the Warriors with Draymond Green and obviously the remaining contract of Steph Curry. So let me ask it this way. What does Joe Lacob at this point and the Warriors, what do they owe Steph Curry at this point in his career?
They owe just Steph Curry whatever the hell Steph Curry wants. Now, that is the closest, because I'm a Christian, and I'm not I don't compare any man to God or anything like that. But that man, Steph Curry, is the closest thing to a godlike figure that you got in that area. You make no mistake about it. Too invaluable, too untouchable, and, oh, by the way, still a star. That man need no more talent, go get him more talent. That man need a better roster, go get him a better roster. He needs Steve Kerr re-up for years to come. I know Steve Kerr signed this extension. Yeah, you do that too. You give Steph Curry whatever the hell he needs in order to keep him as a team, meaning as a team, relevant in the championship equation. He deserves no less. He's still a superstar in this league. He's still playing like a superstar. And the brother is the epitome of perfection when it comes to a professional athlete in terms of his greatness as a talent and his marketability and the sizzle that he brings to the table and just everything in between. It don't get no better than Steph Curry. You give him what the hell he needs.
And so looking forward, what do they do in the best case scenario to get this team better between now and the end of Steph Curry to make this maybe a championship contender again?
Well, first of all, I'm not advocating for you to get rid of Klay Thompson because even on a bad year, remember, it's a bad year to his standards. When you're talking about 42, 43% shooting, 37, 38% from three-point range, you know how many teams in the league would love to have a Klay Thompson on this squad? So I can't poo-poo that. The problem is you've got the Kumingas and the Moody's of the world and Pajinskis of the world and others who have shown they can come in and make a contribution. Klay Thompson might have to go because he's the one person with value for you to go out there and to get another component that you may need in order to supplement and elongate the illustrious career of a Steph Curry. That's because you can't get rid of Draymond Green because you ain't going to win without him. You say whatever you want about Draymond Green, you're not winning without him because what he brings to the table is everything Steph Curry doesn't want to bring to the table in terms of vocal leadership, in terms of accountability on the defensive side of the ball, and everything in between. Steph Curry needs Draymond Green more than he needs anybody outside of his family. And I mean that. I'm not talking about Steve. Steve Kerr's great, phenomenal coach. Okay, Joe Lacob, phenomenal owner, and his group. You couldn't ask for better because they're going to do what it takes to win. They're going to spend that money. But as a player, I'm telling you right now, you cannot lose Draymond Green if you have Steph Curry. Steph Curry needs Draymond Green. Make no mistake about it. So if you need Draymond Green, you got Steph, then you got to look at the other components. You don't want to let go of a young Kuminga. You don't want to let go of a young Pajinski. You might not even want to let go of Moody. That's the only reason I bring up you might have to unload Klay. Because I can tell you right now, if I'm a team with picks and I got a player or two that I can forfeit to get Klay Thompson, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that.
So, Stephen A., real quick, is there a path then? I mean, you hear people say they're too old, it's over. The way you talk, do you still feel like there is a path to greatness for this group?
Yes, and I just told you what it was. Let me tell you that right now. New York Knicks got 11 first-round picks over the next 7 years. And we all know I'm a native New York and diehard New York Knicks fan. I will go on the air every day if you want me to and preach to the New York Knicks. Give them a couple of your picks. Or give a pick and a player away for that damn Klay Thompson. You go ahead and you do it. You put Klay Thompson in a New York Knicks uniform with the crew that they have and watch what happens. Klay Thompson's special. This brother's got value. It's just that on the undersized Golden State Warriors team with that system in place, with the young brothers that you already have there, it may have run its course. That's the issue. That's the issue. And so if you put Klay Thompson on a team with defensive tenacity, okay, they got a big-time defensive unit. They play hard. They go after it, et cetera, et cetera. Klay Thompson is a champion that can add value to any place he goes and anything he touches. I don't rule that out. I don't dismiss that by one iota.
Stephen A., we wish we could spend all afternoon with you, man. Thank you so much for hopping on for a bit, man.
Thank you so much for having me. Take care.
Stephen A. Smith.
There it is.
ESPN.
That's right.